Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Excel Sessions, and in this session number 4 we will understand about arrays, input dialog box, and most important, error handling and debugging in VBA. We have already published 3 videos to learn macro recording, basics of VBA, operators, conditional statements, loops, and custom functions. And I'm sure you already have gone through these videos. The path of these videos and of VBA playlist is added in the description section. All these videos are important to understand VBA. Let's start today's session. In VBA, variables are used to store a value, and a variable can store only one value at a time. To store multiple values in a single variable, we use array variable. We already know how to declare a variable using dim keyword. Similarly, arrays are declared in VBA. To declare an array, type dim my array, open close parenthesis, as integer. Remember that array variable uses parenthesis. Within parentheses, the size of the array is indicated. Type 5 in the parentheses. Now, although the array size is 5 here, but it can hold 6 values. The array index starts from 0, and thus we can store 6 values in this array. It will be more clear in further use of array. The array can store values of any type which depends on the data type. So this array can store 6 integer values. To store value in an array or to assign a value in array, in sub procedure type my array in the parenthesis. Now here VBA show the index number 0 to 5, which can be used to assign a value. So 0 and equals to 101. So in this line, first element of array is initialized and the value of first element is 101. Similarly, we can initialize other elements of the array. Make sure you are changing the index number, and the index number must be in the range of 0 to 5. Now we have assigned these 6 values in the array. Now to print the value of array, again the index number is mandatory to specify in the array name. To print the third element of array, type message box my array and in the parenthesis type 2, because index number 0 indicates the first element of an array. Now press F5 to run the macro, and this time it is showing number 103, which is the third element of the array. We can use loop to display all the values of an array. Comment this line and for loop type for index number is equal to 0 to 5 next, and within the for loop type message box my array, and within the parenthesis we'll pass index number. Now before using index number, declare this variable, type dim index number as integer. Now press F5 and macro will show each value of the array. Now in VBA, we can declare array with both lower and upper limit of the index number. Type dim alphabet 1 to 5 as string. Now here the array alphabet can store only 5 strings and index number will be from 1 to 5. Remember, in this case we can't use index number 0. Now to assign the value in the array, type alphabet 1 equals to A. Similarly, to store the other values, we will use index number from 1 to 5. So in this way, we can assign value in the arrays using index number 1 to 5. In this case, if I use the index number 0 and run the macro, VBA will throw error subscript out of range. So comment this line. Now the method to access value will remain same. So I'm copying the same loop method, change the index value from 1 to 5, change the array name to alphabet, comment this line, press F5 and it will show the value of alphabet array in the message box. These are one-dimensional array and in VBA we can declare multi-dimensional arrays up to 60 dimensions. Two-dimensional array are most commonly used and to declare two-dimensional array type dim 2 comma 3 as integer. Now this line declares an array which has 3 rows and 4 columns and it will contain total 12 values. Again, here the index number will start from 0 as we didn't define the lower limit of index number in the array declaration. Two-dimensional array can also be declared with the lower limit of the index number. Type dim marks open bracket 122 comma 123 closing bracket as variant. Now this line declares an array marks having 2 rows and 3 columns and can contain 6 values of any data type because the data type of array variable is variant. Now in this example, we have marks of students in column B and column C in marks worksheet. Now to show the student name and marks in array, we will use cells method which is similar to range method. Now in case of the two-dimensional array, nested loop can be used to assign value or to retrieve value from the array. So declare another subfunction and for nested loop type for row number is equal to 1 to 2 and within the for loop we will start another for loop for column number is equal to 1 to 3. Now the first line is to specify the row number and the second line is to specify the column number. Now within the loop we will assign values in the array marks row number comma column number equals to within the array we will store the name as well as marks of both subjects. So we'll use worksheets marks dot cells row number comma column number. Now for the inner for loop we'll set next call number and for the outer for loop we'll say next row number. Before using the variables, declare the variables row number and column number. Type dim row number as integer, comma call number as integer. You can declare variable in the single line. Make sure you specify the data type of each variable separately. In this nested loop, the inner loop is for column number and the outer loop is for row number. During execution, for each row, it will fill all the 3 columns in the same row and then it will move to next row. Now to retrieve the value of array, type message box marks of ampersand marks 1 comma 1 which contains the name of the student ampersand or ampersand marks 1 comma 2 which contains the marks in first subject of the same student ampersand and ampersand marks 1 comma 3 which contains the marks in the second subject of the same student. Press F5, it will show the name of the student and their corresponding marks in both subjects. In VBA, dynamic array can also be created. In the static arrays, the size of array is declared But in dynamic array, the size is not specified in the declaration and specified and can be changed at runtime. So to declare a dynamic array, type dim student name open and close parenthesis as string. Because it's a dynamic array, so we are not specifying the size of the array within the parenthesis. When dynamic array is declared, we can't assign value in the array until we specify the size. And the size of a dynamic array is defined using redeem statement. First, we create another sub procedure, and within the sub procedure, to define the size, type redeem student name 124 as a string. Now this line declare array student name of size 4 to assign the student name from worksheet into the array. We will use a loop. So for row number is equal to 124. Next, to close the for loop, and within the for loop, student name row number equals to worksheets marks dot cells row number comma 1, because the student names are available in the first column. To display the student name, use loop again for row number is equal to 124. Close the for loop using next, and within the for loop type message box student name within the parenthesis type row number. Run the macro using F5 and it will show the student name in the message box. Now suppose we want to add one more student name in the same array. In this case, we have to redeclare the size of the array. Type redeem student name and within the parentheses we'll say 125 as a string. Now the size of array student name is 5. But remember, when we redefine the size, then already saved values in array will be deleted. So if we store a new value, student name 5 is equal to Saurabh Jain, and copy the for loop to print the marks after this statement. Now change the row number to 5 and press F5. The first four values are deleted because we have redefined the size of the array and it contains only the last value. Now to preserve the already available values in the array, preserve keyword is used. Now in the same redeclaration, after the redeem, type preserve keyword, press F5 and then it will keep all the existing value in the array as is. The both cells and range function is used to get the values from worksheet cells. Cells function takes two parameters, row number and the column number. So cell 3, comma 4 refers to the cell at the intersection of third row and fourth column in the worksheet. We have learned about message box in VBA, which is used to display the message or to take user choice through buttons. In VBA, there is another dialog box, input box, which is used to input any value from user at runtime. In the same example of dynamic array, to take name as an input from user, we can use input box dialog box. So comment this line and declare a variable for new entry of the name. Type dim new student as string and new student is equal to type input box, open parenthesis, within double quotes type enter student name to add in array. The second parameter is the title of the input box, enter name, closing parenthesis. Now the input box returns a value which would be entered by the user, and that value will be stored in the variable new student. Now add the name entered by the user in array student name 5 equals to new student. Press F5, input box will appear, type student name, press OK. The message box will show student names available in the array. In user form also, we can use input box in the search functionality, delete or modify functionality. To include input box in the search functionality, go to the Visual Basic editor and in search name procedure, instead of getting username from the worksheet cells, we can display input box. So comment this line and type employee name is equal to input box, open parenthesis, enter name to search, and the second parameter is the title of the input box. So search name, closing parenthesis. Now within the if loop, to show the name in cell C2, add the line worksheets userform dot range C2 equals to employee name. Now here, when user will enter the username in the input box, the name will stored into the employee name. Now in the user form, click on search button. It will show the input box. Enter the username and press OK. The form will show the user details. Error handling and debugging is very important and it is used to handle the errors. Let's understand how can we do error handling in VBA. The add data function adds the data from user form to database sheet. Now to check whether the username is already available in database sheet or not, we can use VLOOKUP function using worksheet function. So within the add data subprocedure, declare a variable is name available as a string and then type is name available equals to application dot worksheet function dot VLOOKUP. The first argument is the employee name which we want to search and want to search the employee name in the column A of database sheet. So type range A colon A comma 1 comma 0. Now in this line VLOOKUP function will check whether employee name is available in column A of worksheet database. If name is available in the database sheet, it will store in the variable. Now we can check the length of the variable. If len is name available is greater than 0, then we will show the message that user name already exists to user and then we will exit the sub procedure. Type endif to close the if statement. The VLOOKUP function throws error if the name not found in the column A of database sheet. In user form, press add button. If the name already exists, it will show the message that the username already exists. But if the name does not exist in the database sheet, the VBA will throw the error message. Now, if the name does not exist in the database sheet, it should not throw an error message and the data should be added into the database sheet. To trap these errors in VBA, on error resume next is used. So in add data sub procedure, type on error resume next in the beginning. Now this line says that if any error occurred in this procedure, the VBA will skip the error and will move to the next line. Now in the user form, click on Add button, and this time it will add the data in the database. Again in the user form, if I press Add again, it will show the message box that the username already exists. Now in user form, we can add multiple validation, but it is not possible to trap and show corresponding messages for each and every error. In this scenario, we can trap errors and show a general message. For example, in the user form, enter any string in the salary and press show details button. The VBA will throw error because the type of variable employee salary is double and it can't store string value. Now in this case, we can trap and handle errors using onError go to label. So in sub procedure show data, type onError go to and a label name error message. Now there is no need to declare this label name. Now in the end of the sub procedure, type same label name error msg colon, press enter, show a common message box, check data. Now before the label name, remember to add exit sub. Now here, if there is any error in the sub procedure show data, VBA will move to label name error message and will execute the statement after label name. If there is no error, then also these statement will be executed and hence we type exit sub before the label name. So in this case, this error will only appear if there is any error in the show data subprocedure. In user form, press show details button and it will display message check data. Now enter the number and the salary and press show details and it will display the corresponding bonus and text value. The purpose of debugging is to identify and controlling the issues or errors in the code during testing of the VBA code. It is time consuming some time and make sure you create a backup of VBA file before debugging operation. Now in VBA for debugging different tools are used. The first tool is message box, which we can use to check variable values at runtime or whether the code is entering into the correct loop or to check which if block is executed. We have created a function to check total text using the if statement. Now to test whether the program is going into the correct if statement according to the employee salary, we can use message box in each if statement. So within the function, in each if statement, type message box with the appropriate statements. So in first if statement, type message box and salary 0 to 2.5 lakh. So similarly, we have added message box in each if statement to test the function. Now in the user form, press show details button and the message box showing that the correct if statement is executed because the salary is less than 2.5 lakh. Similarly, if I change the salary and then press show details button, the message indicates that the correct if statement is executed. Another method is Debug.print, which is alternative of message box. The output of Debug.print is displayed on immediate window. So press Ctrl G to open the immediate window. You can also open immediate window using view menu option. In view menu, select immediate window. Now instead of message box, type Debug.print, and you can show the same message. Similarly, I have used Debug.print for each if statement. Now in user form, press Show Details button, and immediate window is showing that the correct if statement is executed. Now remember to remove message box and debug.print from VBA editor once you finish the testing. In VBA, sometimes the code doesn't work as required, and then we need to debug the code to identify and rectify the issue. VBA editor allows us to interact and run the code in debug mode line by line. Suppose we write the code for search button, and during testing of code, when we press search button, the code displays message box user not found, whereas the username is already available in the database sheet. To debug the code in VBA editor, put cursor in the search name subprocedure and press F8 key, or in debug menu, select step into option. It would highlight the subprocedure name. Now the code is in debugging mode and all option of debug mode is enabled in debug menu option. Now press F8 again and it will start execute code line by line. Now the next line is highlighted. Press F8 again because the previous line is executed. So move your mouse onto the variable and it is showing the value of variable total rows, which is 8. Now which we can verify in the database sheet. So this line of code is working properly. Now press F8 again and you can check the value of employee name, which is available in the C2 cell of the user form. Now press F8 again. Now it will start executing for loop. Check the value of the total rows. So the loop counter is also correctly set. Press F8 again. Now the value of employee name is correct. To check the value of the right hand side expression, copy the expression and open immediate window using Ctrl G, type question mark and paste the expression and press enter. It will show the value, which is the first value of a column in the database sheet. Instead of question mark, you can type print, paste the expression and press enter, and it will display the same value. Similarly, to check the value of the comparison, copy the expression and in the immediate window type print, paste the expression, press enter. Now result is false. That means the employee name, which is Saurabh Jain, doesn't match with the first value of column A in database sheet. Hence, the loop should check next value of column A in the database sheet. So press F8, press F8 again. Now it is coming to the exit for, which will exit the for loop. Press F8 and now it is coming to the next line to check the value of is available because the value is 0. Hence, the code is showing user not found. So it means the exit for statement is at the wrong place. It should run only when the data in database sheet matches with the value in the C2 cell of user form. Press reset button, cut the exit for statement and paste inside the if statement. Now we have to check the macro again and we have to check the for loop whether it's working properly or not because the initial codes and the variable assignments we have already checked. So put cursor on the loop line and press F9 or go to debug menu option and select toggle breakpoint. Now this toggle breakpoint will halt the macro execution at this point, and from this point the execution will go line by line. Now instead of using immediate window, we can use watch window to check the value of expressions. So close the immediate window, go to view and select watch window. Now select the expression and in the watches window, right click and select add watch. So click OK. The expression is added in the watches window. Similarly, to get the value of comparison, select the complete expression. Now in watches window, right click and select add watch. Click OK. Now the both expression is added in the watches window. Now put the cursor in the sub procedure, press F8. The sub procedure is selected. Now press Ctrl F8 so that it will execute all the above lines and stop on the toggle point. Now press F8 again and the watch window will show the value of both expression. The value of first expression is name and the value of the comparison expression is false. In the runtime, to show the values of all the variables used in the sub procedure, we can use local windows. So go to view menu and select locals window. Expand the module 1 and will show all the variables in the module 1. Value of employee name is showing Saurabh Jain. Total rows is 8 and the row number is 1. Press F8 so it will come out from the if statement. Press F8 again. Press F8 again. It will come again to the comparison. Now the value of the expression is changed to Ajay Kumar in the watches window and the row number in the locals window is changed to 2. Press F8 again. It will come out from the if statement because condition is false. Press F8, press F8 again. Now the row number is changed to 3 in locals window and the expression value is Saurabh Jain and the condition returns true in the watches window. Press F8 again and it will go inside the if statement. Press F8 and the value is assigned from the database sheet to the user form. Press F8 again. Now it will go to the exit for statement. It will exit the for loop. Now it will come to the is available. Now the value of is available in the locals window is changed to 1. So the second if loop will not be executed. Press F8 and the sub procedure is finished. Now to remove the breakpoint, put cursor on the same line and press F9 or you can press on the gray strip. So in this way, you can debug and test your code using debugging tools, local window, watch window, immediate window, and toggle breakpoint. Do practice and share your feedback, suggestion, and queries in comment section. If you like the content, press thumbs up and share with your friends and colleagues. Subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get the notifications. Thanks for watching.